Greetings faculty and welcome to another WIS technology tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about using Google Calendar as a means of managing assignments and homework for your Moodle classes. Now what this basically means is that you would still maintain an HTML block, which you've done in the past, to type and to record upcoming homework assignments. The HTML block allows you to do something much cooler. In fact, you can embed a Google Calendar directly into your Moodle course. And I'm going to show you how I accomplish this, but let me say a few words about why I think this is very useful. So this actually will show the homework assignments every day until the due date. So basically I've set up a repeating event in my Google Calendar that will always be on display every day until the assignment is due. So here's how you accomplish this. You go to your Google Calendar and the first thing you're going to want to do is create a new calendar. Go ahead, give it a name, go through that process, and it'll appear here in your list. I have a calendar called 9 Math Homework, or whatever you want to call it. And what I've decided to do is to place all of the homework assignments as an all-day event. So if I wanted to add another assignment, so I have this one that I just made up. If I wanted to add another one, I would just click here and say perhaps assignment due September 7th. So the next thing I want to do is I want to edit this, okay? Because I want the students to be reminded about this every time they log into Moodle. They should see that there's an assignment that is due September 7th. So I can click the repeat events. And this is actually going just to repeat daily. Even on the weekends, it'll show up there. So, and it's going to end on September 7th. And then I can click save, and it will display on each of these days up until September 7th. Okay, so now that we have the homework on the calendar, the one thing you want to be sure is that this calendar is actually a public calendar, meaning that anyone with the link could see it, basically. Because what will happen is if it's only visible to students in your class, then you'll get kind of this screen for when parents try to read what's coming up. They won't be able to see it because they won't have access to that calendar. So to make it easy, just make it a public calendar, especially if all you're going to put on there is just homework assignments. The other neat feature to this is that with these events, you can actually attach Google Docs to them. So they would have a link to the assignment if you wrote out the assignment in a Google Doc format. You could simply select it and attach it to the Google Calendar event and save it. And of course, if you make this change after you've already set up this recurring event, make sure you add it to all events. So that way, on every day after today, each time they click on the event, they'll also have a link to the attachment. So great, so that's the calendar. Now how about getting it onto Moodle? Well, to start, you're going to want to go to your calendar settings. Okay, and then here about halfway down you see something called embed this calendar. I highly recommend going into this customize the color, size, and other options. It lets you dynamically generate what your calendar will look like on your Moodle page. So right now this is way too big for my space on Moodle, so I can slowly customize this. I don't need a title because I have a title right here already on my calendar, but maybe I want to get rid of some of these buttons, like the print icon I don't really need, maybe some tabs I don't need. And notice how things start to, some of the clutter disappears. Maybe I don't need the time zone. I know we're in the Eastern time zone, so on and so forth. And then What's even more useful is maybe the agenda view. This will give me a lineup of what's coming and what's due. And of course, I need to narrow everything down, so I'm just going to change my width to 300 pixels and then my height to 300 pixels. So this will allow it to fit on the sidebar on Moodle. I'm going to change my start date to Monday because Monday is a good school day to start. And I can even just control what language the calendar displays in. So if I'm a language teacher, I can maintain the target language on Moodle as well via the calendar. And when I'm satisfied, all I need to do is copy this piece of code right here. Copy that. And I go over to Moodle, and in my homework block, right, I can click on this wrench. And I've already done this one time, but I'm going to undo this and do my new calendar. So I'm going to click on HTML to get rid of the code that's here. All right, I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to paste my new code, and I'm going to click the update button. And now I can save, and I'll likely have to do a refresh in order for it to display. And here it is. So I have a nice calendar that shows the next couple of days, as well as a link to assignments that are due. And then the student can then click on, okay, what's the September 7th assignment? They can click here. They can look at the more details. And by clicking on more details, they will have access to the attachment where the homework instructions live, or so on and so forth. So this is one way, a creative way of using a simple HTML block in Moodle to maintain kind of an organized record of assignments and when they were giving and how long, how much time students had from start to finish to complete the work. So it's just an idea. Go ahead and try it if this interests you. I'd be happy to walk you through this in person if you need to set an appointment with me. So thanks for watching. Bye.